Okay, first actual video. Here's a kitchen with a actually moderate, honestly kind of low level of mess, not very messy. And want to talk about cleaning it. And the first thing, however, that you might be tempted to just dive into the dishes in the sink and start trying to do something with them. But really where you want to start is with anything that's already clean. Get it out of the way. So that's what this is going to be about. This video is about dealing with the stuff that's already clean. So everything that's in this drying rack here, that stuff's already clean. Some things like this pot, I just happen to know it's not really very clean. I'll probably clean it again. If it were actually clean, I would put it up, but it's not clean. Oh yeah, first thing, one of the things, when you're putting up the clean dishes, look at the dishes. Make sure they are actually clean. They are not always actually clean. So lots of things can happen, right? The dishes in the drying rack, I keep it away from the sink. You may notice it's over there. The sink is here. I keep it away from the sink to minimize stuff splashing over onto the drying dishes, whatever it is that you're washing off. But someone could still accidentally dribble some coffee onto them or whatever, and it's not on purpose, it just happens. This, I think, got a little bit of stuff in it, probably from the broth that's cooking on the stove, so that's why it's no longer clean. That might have been me, who knows. So anyway, first thing is to put away the dishes that are already clean, and I'm going to start. So these guys, these little things, I guess maybe a little backstory. This one's not dry yet. First time they have to actually be dry. Stuff that's in here, just most of it has been through the dishwasher. It just didn't get completely dry. Plastics and these little floppy silicone things, they don't dry very well. In your average dishwasher, I think some of the modern ones are better about it, but I haven't seen one yet that's really good. Anyhow, these little floppy silicone things, as I call them, they're covers. They're little stretchy covers you can put over things. And unlike, the plastic wrap that you get in the rolls, these you can put in the dishwasher and reuse many times. And they can go in the microwave and in the oven and in the freezer and wherever else you need them to go. Anyway, these go in a little container over there. So if you're following me in 360, this way. In this cabinet, here's a container, and you'll see there are others already in the container. Put the new clean ones in, which this one is now clean by the time I finished waving it around. I mean dry, now that I finished waving it at you. So, in here, put these back. And start putting other dishes. These are also not really dry. I hate when that happens because, I really want to dry the dishes and they're not really dry, and then, okay, that's probably close. No, not really. So if you really want to dry the dishes, I'm going to kind of do that now. It's best that you use a low lint towel. So these are my mom calls them diapers. She says they look like diapers, but they're actually flour sack towels, and you don't want to get lint in your flour, or you don't want flour to leak out of your sack. So, the cloth that was made for flour sacks, and I'm not sure this is actually cloth that was made for flour sacks. It just looks like it, sort of. But anyway, it's relatively lint-free, so you can dry your dishes without getting junk on them. My mom hates them. There's a little piece of lint. Mom hates them because they look like diapers to her, and so we have sort of compromised that my diapers go on the kitchen, and her frilly, lint-producing, pretty things, there's not one there right now, but they go on the stove. So it goes. Anyway, these little containers happen to collapse. Kind of nice. They are also silicone, which I've learned to like. I'm not sure, one day I might find reasons to not like silicone, but seems to be good so far. Anyway, again, the containers can go in the freezer and such like, oven, microwave. So, close it up. And containers that you put things in, like food, they go in here. So that goes there. And let's see. I have been in the process of getting rid of anything that does not, any bottoms without tops or tops without bottoms out. They go out. We just got too much stuff in this kitchen and in this house in general. So I've started to become sort of brutal about getting rid of things. This has a lid on the bottom. There are only a couple of exceptions. Have actual purposes, and I don't get real picky about what goes where exactly. This big tray does not have a top anymore. Used to. I don't know what happened to the top. Who knows? Anyway, we use it because we can put the dog's water bowl inside this box, and then when they splash, most of the water stays inside the box. So it is used for that purpose, and so that's why it is an exception to the get rid of anything that doesn't already have a top rule. In this case, since it doesn't have a top, means we don't want to use it for anything else particularly, so it gets used for that. And dog stuff goes here. So this is the cabinet where things related to feeding and watering the dogs goes right there in that sort of lower level. Let's see. This will dry. So it's nice to stack things that are alike and put lids on them. And if it were just me living here, I would do that and everything would be just fine, because I would very carefully keep the stacks together and keep the lids with them. And I would ensure that everything was neat and clean and orderly. But, you know, everyone in the world is not like that. I've come to accept this. It's okay. It's not a problem. Different people do different things, but if I want to keep my containers and my lids together under the current circumstances, they all have to be put together separately or they will not stay together. So therefore, although normally you would stack these, I'm not stacking them. They get put separately into the cabinet. This is another reason that I have become fond of the collapsible ones. So let's see. Here is a bottom that if you knew the food that came in this bottom, you might be surprised that this top goes on it, and this top is kind of yucky. So this one has a top. It's also kind of gross. Actually, I'm going to let this one go. You can't really see it on film, I'm sorry, but it's, yeah, no. This one, recycling is over here. It's actually just outside the door, but we put recyclables. You probably couldn't hear any of that. Recycling is over there, just outside the kitchen door. Anything that's on the way to the recycling and you just don't feel like opening the door, or especially you know you're going to have 5 or 6 more things before you're done, there's a little tray next to the door for that purpose. This. We don't really care if the bottoms and the tops originally came together in packaging whenever we have bottoms and tops from packaging, such as this. As long as they fit, we're good. And these two fit together reasonably well and into the cabinet. Alright, so this goes with a silicone bag that is in the sink that is not clean, and this is reasonably clean, but I'm going to leave it here. This does not have a lid. It started off with a lid, doesn't have a lid. I'm going to put it in recycling. And I've got things to go with this, and I probably should get rid of it, but I'm keeping it, and sometimes I still use them, so it's not terrible to keep them. So, okay, that was the first part. Put up all the already clean and dry dishes.